Drivin Ivan here, and behind me, my 1974 Mercedes 450 SL. It's the third one I've owned. So I'm going to talk all about the Mercedes SL and this one in particular, and why I've owned three. Well, for starters, I love the way this one looks. I love that light blue Mercedes color, and I think the blue matched with the light blue makes this car really pop. I love those light blue wheel covers and the hard top as well. This one is certainly not a perfect Concours car. For instance, it's missing one of the fog lights up front, and from this angle you can see that it's missing some trim, the side view mirror, and it's got a bit of rust there on the back too. But despite the cosmetic flaws, I absolutely love the way this Mercedes SL looks. It exudes beauty, refinement, and class. There's no question that it's an automotive icon. It's timeless. The iconic style and classiness continues to the interior. These classic SL seats are really soft, and it's not a leather. It's sort of a vinyl that looks like leather a bit, and you get a super comfortable headrest here. Same thing for the passenger, and you've got a storage tray back here. Seats were actually optional, but I think this storage tray is definitely a bit more usable. The two-tone look even carries over to this trim piece here. Really cool. Settle into the seat, close the door, and you get that strong Mercedes thug. Most cars in the 70s did not exude this sort of reliability and build quality that this SL displays. The large steering wheel is definitely a trademark of the SL. It's one of the great things about the car. And also, really, the way the dash is laid out. Check out the original radio. Even the interior, to me, is timeless. It's definitely dated, but just look at these functions for the ventilation controls. Check out the shift knob for the 3-speed automatic. The power windows. Hazard lights. The gauges. You get a large speedometer straight ahead of you. Tachometer and clock that you can hear is still working. Amazing. Fuel tank, you get temperature and also oil pressure too. Airplane style vents and pretty nice sized glove box. Open it up here and you can see that this car comes with lots of books, which is a good thing. But unfortunately it didn't come with records, although it is an original 46,000 mile car. Very impressive. So to me, the interior is just as impressive as the exterior. Stylish, luxurious, and comfortable. Timeless. Pop open the trunk and you'll find that it's deep. It was probably resprayed at some point. There's a spare floor mat in here and a spare tire underneath. This 1974 Mercedes SL is powered by a 4.5-liter V8. It makes 190 horsepower at 4,750 RPMs, and the torque is rated at 240 at 3,000 RPMs. It had Bosch fuel injection, and it was good for a 0 to 60 time of right around 10 seconds. 19.8 gallon fuel tank was good for about 12 to 19 miles per gallon. Most likely you'll get about 13, 15 miles per gallon, somewhere in there, and it takes 91 octane. It's made it to a 3-speed automatic, and it's about 3,600 pounds. Definitely a tank, a Panzer wagon. So in the intro, I told you that this was my third Mercedes SL. I've owned first a 1975 450 SL, and then a 1984 380 SL. And I've just loved driving these cars so far, and you can look for my reviews of those other two elsewhere on YouTube. The 1975 SL, I did a full review on the whole 107 series, so check that one out definitely. But the reason I bought this third one is, like I said, I really love the look of it. I've always wanted a light blue Mercedes SL, and this one came along. And despite the fact that it had some cosmetics and no real history that came with the car besides the odometer showing 46,000 miles, I just had to have it because of the look. I love the look. It's funny how sometimes color just really does it for you in terms of a car. I tend to like blue cars. My avid viewers will know that a lot of my cars are blue, and this SL is no exception. Again, it just popped to me and I had to have it. So, the Mercedes SL, what is the attraction? Well, it's der Panzerwagen. It's a tank. It's built to incredible build standards, and it's a very, very reliable and easy to own Mercedes SL. Of course, there are some problems. Fuel pump, certainly rot, and timing chain issues in some of them. You'll have to look specifically to the year that you're looking at to know all the ins and outs of the cars, but generally they're just really, really well-built classic convertibles in the case of the SL. Comes with a hard top, many of them do, and also has a soft top, so you can drive it like it's a coupe hard top for the time of year when the weather's bad, if you live in such an area, and the rest of the year, well, you can just store that hard top in a shed or something and enjoy open air motoring. It's not about the speed with Mercedes SL. It's about this huge steering wheel in front of you. It's about the comfort of driving the SL. It's just a very soft, comfortable, compliant ride. It's plenty quick enough. It's got some get up and go, and it's actually pretty fun to drive because it is, after all, a big front engine V8 with rear wheel drive. It's not going to bowl you over with its crisp handling, but it is comfortable, and it certainly can perform in the corners as you'd expect from a 70s sporting, luxury oriented automobile. The 1972 version, the first one to come out, had those smaller bumpers, and some 73s as well. This one has those bigger bumpers that lots of people don't like, the American style bumpers. You can of course retrofit the Euro style bumpers to get that look, but in this case I like to keep it original because it is a very low 46,000 mile car, so I'll just keep it the way it came from the factory. The earlier cars did have the 4.5 liter 8-cylinder engine. Of course, you could get a V6 in Europe, so that was pretty cool. A little better fuel economy and still enough pep, certainly, but only for Europe. In America, they always had the V8, and that continued on to the 380 SL in later models, and that's because of fuel economy. They went with a smaller engine. And then the 107 ended up in 1989. That's the last year, and that one had the 5-liter V8 by the time it was all said and done, and of course all the refinements in those cars. But these early cars, I think, are more charming with the cool wheel covers. Definitely a plus for me in terms of styling, and I don't really think there's any drawbacks because, like I said, this 74 did not have some of the issues of the later cars. So I told you why I bought my third SL, and I think they just represent one of the best values in the classic car world right now. Parts cars are just maybe a couple $1,000s, and you can go on up from there. They're starting to get a lot of money. You can easily spend $10,000 to $20,000 on a nicer car, and if you want the Pagoda, the earlier Mercedes SL from the 60s, well, those can be upwards over $100,000. So with this one, basically the same look from 72 to 1989, and probably a more reliable car as well. Okay, not as good looking, but still, this SL, I think, is really a fine looking car. I think it has a good balance of luxury and sport, and again, it's a 2-seat convertible, so you just can't go wrong owning a classic like this one. It's fun to drive year-round because of that hard top, comfortable, luxurious, and it exudes a sense of style like not too many other classic cars out there. And there you have it. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe to me on my YouTube channel here. Check out all of my other videos, my SL videos, classic car videos, exotic car videos, and new car videos as well. Check out my disc golf videos, documentaries, literal video for Chris Isaac's Wicked Game, and documentaries too. I'm Drivin Ivan.